The majority of this flower bed has completely died, and it's not because I've forgotten to water it. It's something called hydrophobic soil. Now, I have got a lot of seedlings that are waiting to be planted into that bed, and I can't do anything until I've sorted out the problem. So I'm going to tell you exactly what the problem is and how I'm going to fix it. I'm Bridget Rose, and I teach beginners how to grow cut flowers from seed, and I grow from a pretty ordinary garden in the UK, although at the moment it's looking a little bit too ordinary. So have you ever noticed with your soil, you give it a good water and then you dig underneath and it's totally dry? And that's because the soil has been left so dry for so long. It's actually changed on a particle level, and it has now developed a coat that sheds the water. So think about a car that's just been newly waxed, and when it rains the water just runs off, and that's the same with soil that's been left so dry that it repels water. Now, before you assume that's what it is, let's do a quick soil test so that you can test your own soil. Now, for this test I've got a dry spot of soil. I'm going to take this little bit of water and watch what happens if the water slides straight off or it beads on top like water on a waxed car. Then the soil is hydrophobic, and if it soaks straight in, then it's not. Can you see how that's just running off? That is just running off and not being absorbed. And then if I take my hori knife and just dig underneath, that is bone dry. So I'm going to attack this in two ways. I need to sort out the soil. It needs to start absorbing water properly. That's the first thing. And the second thing, I need to stop it from happening again. The first part, getting the soil to absorb water again. And the way I'm going to do that is by breaking this waxy coat around the soil and using something like a wetting agent. You can get official wetting agents online, or you can make your own, which is what this is. And this is just washing up liquid, but it's biodegradable and plant-based. So there are no bleaches, there are no chemicals, there are no dyes, no fragrance in there. It's just as biodegradable as possible. And I'm going to mix that with some water as I'm washing up. And then I'm going to water this bed, and I'm going to dig down a little bit so I create channels down into the ground, and I'm just going to water it. And I'm going to do it a couple of times. I've got, I think, 5 watering cans. I'm just going to fill them, pour them, leave it, and then repeat. So that's what I'm going to do next. So I am going to put, I think, about 4 drops in each watering can. Water, and I might even see if I've got a couple of other buckets I can add to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that is the next phase done. I'm going to go and fill all of these back up again and do the same again. I want to really saturate the soil, and then I'm going to go to the garden centre and buy some mulch. for over the top because I want to trap this in before it evaporates in the sun. So I'm going to leave that for a few minutes and then I'm going to just dig down to see if it has indeed penetrated underneath. So I'm going to wait a minute and go and fill these up. Got the last of my buckets all done. Now I'm going to go back up to the bed and I want to see if when I dig down that any of the moisture and the water has got through. So saturation is what we want. So let's just take a random spot here. Just take off the top, that looks all right. Oh yeah, that looks as though it's penetrated through. Let's try another bit that isn't in the glaring sun. Let's try this down here. Oh no, that's dry. Can you see that? That's an inch down and that's dry. So anyway, we need to do more. I need to absolutely saturate this. Okay, round 2. What? It occurred to me that while I was digging that bed and making channels for the water to get through, I did not see one earthworm. There is not one in there. There is something going on, so I need to feed the soil. I need to bring in the earthworms, and the way I'm going to do that is by using active earth. Now this is going to feed the soil. It's got potassium, calcium, magnesium and also bacteria, so it's going to be really, really good for the soil. That's going to attract the worms, and when the worms come they build little channels through the soil and there's the drainage, of course. So I'm going to get this on now and I think it will probably be a few weeks before I see anything, but at least I know now my soil is being taken care of. I'm going to sprinkle it on and then in time that will all get absorbed in the soil. I need to now sprinkle this in a metre square shape, so like 100 centimetres by 100 centimetres. So here we go. Okay, I think that's all I can do on there for now. I'm going to go to the garden centre to buy some farmyard manure. I think is going to be the best thing to get. So I'm going to go and do that and then I will see you back here. I was originally going to buy farmyard manure to lock in that moisture on top of the bed, but thinking about it, I'm putting seedlings in there, and although they're quite big, I don't want them to burn with the manure, which it can sometimes do. So I've gone for a safe option of just buying some really nice fine mulch, and that can go near the seedlings. I don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to get this lot now onto the bed. Well, I think I've done it. So I'm going to give it a good water again. I've used 2.5 bags of mulch on here, so I didn't need 6 bags after all, but I'm going to put some of that in the front garden as well. And this mulch now is a preventative, so that my hydrophobic soil will no longer repel water, it's going to soak it like a sponge. So I'm going to give it a water and then get my seedlings in. Okay, that is all of my seedlings in. You know, it was hard to think that a few days ago this bed was virtually dead. And now it's got my seedlings in, it's got my cosmos, tithonia and my snapdragons. And the soil's been rehydrated, it's been fed and it's been mulched, so all of that goodness will stay in. Okay, to recap everything that I've covered in this video. The mulch is the preventative, the watering is the maintenance, and the soil conditioner, such as active earth that I used here and sprinkled over in the soil, that is the long-term repair. It's going to feed the soil and in turn it's going to bring those earthworms back in so that I have a healthy flower bed again. So with all those three, this will hopefully not happen again to me. But the key is in the watering. I have not been watering this nearly as much as I should have been. And sometimes I'll just do a spray every night. Well, that's no good because the water's just staying on the surface. So from now on, I'm going to water deeply every 3 or 4 days rather than water in a shallow way every single night. And if I keep up with that, it'll just give these flowers the opportunity to flower all summer long now until the first frosts. If you're just starting out growing cut flowers from seed and you want to learn how to do it properly from the beginning, I run a free masterclass. So comment masterclass below and I will send you the link. And if you're keen to find out how my new seedlings are getting on in the new bed, then subscribe to my channel so all the updates get plopped into your feed. I will see you in the next one.